Hi, this is Hala at Home Junction. This video will consist of a general dashboard overview. To log into the dashboard of your website, you'll first go to the front end by typing in your URL. Next, you'll go up to your navigation, and behind your URL, you'll put /wp-admin and hit enter. This will take you to a login screen where you will put in your login credentials and hit login. In your dashboard, there are several different options here in your sidebar menu. First, we have pages, which is where you can create a page to add content to for your website. To do so, you'll go to Pages and Add New, title your page, and add your content. I'm going to go ahead and title this page as Test. And we'll add some media here by going to our media library and just selecting a photo and hitting Insert into Page. You'll always want to make sure you're in the visual side so that you're able to access the toolbar. And also, this is for human eyes, whereas in the text side, it's more for robot eyes. It's something where you would put in code instead of in visual, where you would just use the media library here and add media. So let's go ahead and publish this page. The next thing I'd like to go over is how to add this page to your menu structure. So we're going to go into Appearance and Menus. From here, you'll see your most recently created pages under Most Recent. Say that we weren't able to find it there, you can still go and scroll down to your pages and go through the different kinds of pages. If you create a new GeoFarm, it's always going to be found underneath GeoFarms. If you created a new agent page, you can find that here. Now, because we created a general page, that will be under Pages. And here we'll go to Check It Off and Add to Menu. Once you hit the Add to Menu button, that's going to populate at the bottom of your menu structure. There's quite a bit going on in his menu structure, so it takes some scrolling. Now you're able to drag and drop this page into the desired placement in your menu. So let's say that we wanted to make this an option under Selling. Instead of having it all the way over to the left as its own menu item, we'll indent it over underneath Selling and place it. That creates it a submenu item. You'll always want to make sure you hit Save Menu, otherwise your changes are not going to stick. Now let's say that you wanted to remove a page. You would just use the expansion arrow here and hit Remove. And once again, always save your changes. The same process goes for an agent roster page, for a blog page if you wanted to put an individual blog page into your menu structure. Any kind of post really can be added to your menu structure in this process. Speaking of blogs, let's go into Posts. This is where you're going to create your blogs. You'll go into Add New, give your blog a title, put content here, and you can also section your blogs off into categories. So for example, if you wanted to do a news blog, you could just check off news, or if it was just a general blog, you could check off blog or uncategorized. You can also add new categories. Here you have the ability to add tags and a featured image. Once you hit Set Featured Image, it will take you to your media library, where you can then go to Upload Files to upload a picture directly from your device. Once you publish a post, it will automatically appear in your blog archive page. Okay, and here we have your media library. We did go over that briefly, but let's take a quick view of that. So this is where all of the image content will be held for your website. So if you ever used an image in your website, it's going to appear here, even if you've removed it from the front end of things. You'll still find it here unless you went in and deleted it. To add something to your library, you can go to Add New, and you have the ability to drag and drop a file in, or instead hit select files and choose from your computer here. So I'll go ahead and select something right there and hit open. That's going to automatically populate in our library. Now, if you hit select files, you also have the ability to select more than one image. So for example, if I wanted to take these 3 images and put it into my media library for future use, I can just highlight all 3 of these images and hit open. Because these images are too large, they are not going to be uploaded. Typically, we recommend image size between 1800 and 2000 megapixels wide. Now, if you stay within that width parameter, generally you won't have any problem with the height. Let's go into comments here. This is going to be where you'll find any kind of comments that are left on your blog posts or anything else that has a comment section. Your agent roster is where you can build your agent profile pages. If you wanted to add a new agent to your roster, you'd go into Add New. You'd title this with the agent's full name. Here's where their bio will go. And then you'll want to make sure that you fill out their basic information. Minimally, your first and last name. Here's where you'll add your headshot. And once you're finished, you can hit Publish. This will automatically appear into your agent archive page. Otherwise, you can definitely add an agent page to your menu structure in the same way that we went through with pages. Here we have testimonials. You can add a new testimonial by hitting Add New, giving it a title, and giving it a body, which would be the actual testimonial itself. And then you'll also want to make sure that you check off your associated agent, because that's how you're going to get the testimonial to appear on the agent pages. You also have the ability to create a page for your office by going in and Add New and filling out the basic information. Once again, it's similar to your agent roster page, where you would give the office a name, an address, and city. Just fill out that basic information, and it'll have a really nice output for you. In Forms, you have the ability to create a new form or use one of our pre-made forms that will come with your website. Now let's say that we wanted to see the entries for a form. We would go under Entries and select the number. Now we can also go back into Forms, and to use a form, you can select the form ID here and put it into the short code. If you need any assistance with finding that short code, you can definitely reach out to support. Our phone number is 858-777-9533 at extension 4. And you can also give us an email at help@homejunction.com. I'll provide those contact details at the end of this video again. For your GeoFarms, this is how you're going to build out your area pages. It's really easy. It takes about 5 seconds to create a new one. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but I would say definitely under a minute. So let's go ahead and go through that process. We'll just go into GeoFarms and Add New. And for our example, we're going to do Houston, Texas. So I'm going to title this page Homes for Sale in Houston. Oops. And this is where you would put some information about the area. After you've titled your page, you can come down to Area Selection and hit Select Area. And it's going to pull your title down into the Enter Area section here. Just go ahead and remove the extra verbiage. And once you begin typing the area name, you'll have a pre-populated menu show up below. So you'll always want to select from this menu so that you can pull the correct shape so that we get the right data for the page. So I'm going to click Houston, Texas. And once I see my map populate, I can hit Insert once I know that shape is correct. And after that, you can just go ahead and publish this page. It really just takes a title and area selection. Let's see what we've created. So with just a few clicks there in the GeoFarms, we now have a map, all of the listings in the area. You can also see more listings clicking this button. We have more area details laid out and some very nice graphics for you. There's the school information, and then a button to get in touch. And this was all once again created just by titling the page and giving it an area selection. This page can be added to your menu structure in the same way that we did with the test page. So let's go back into the dashboard once more and into pocket listings. Pocket listings can be utilized for a few things. A lot of people like to show off their sold listings using pocket listings. The output is very similar to that of our IDX. And so it makes your website look very uniform while also having the ability to show off any kind of property that's not in your MLS. So if you had something outside of your MLS for sale, you'd have the opportunity to come in here and put in the basic information and then have that output in the same way as our IDX appears. Otherwise, you can show off your sold properties and coming soon. So what you'll want to do when you create your pocket listing, you'll go to Add New. We'll just go in here because he already has his information set up. And you'll want to give a title, including the address. He chose to input the MLS number as well. Here's where you're going to put the basic information about the property, any kind of details that you want to share. You also have a section down below that you want to fill out. If you fill this out, it's going to have a very nice output, much like that IDX. Here's where you're going to set your featured image. This will be the image that's used for the property, but you also can upload an entire gallery. So this is where you would go. You go to Manage Gallery, and then you can select from your media library, or you can add to your gallery by uploading the files. Since he's already published this page, any changes he makes are going to appear as update. That's the same for any kind of post type. So let's go ahead and see the output of what a pocket listing looks like. As you can see, it's very similar to a regular listing detail page. And we'll go around to the front of the website just so I can show you what a regular listing is going to look like as well. As you can see, it's very similar. Okay, now let's go back into the dashboard here. And we'll go to Appearance and Theme Options. This is where a lot of the basic information is going to be. So in General Settings, this is where you can change out the logo that is at your header. So for example, this logo here is controlled in Theme Options under General Settings and Website Logo. So you can upload and remove this logo, and this will pull up your media library once you hit one of these buttons. Here in Global Colors is how you can choose your colors for your website. It controls all the color scheme throughout your website. Here in the contact details, this is information that you'll want to make sure that you update if there's any kind of changes to your brokerage, email, office address, any kind of information like that will always want to be updated here as well as on your agent profile page. This information is often pulled into the footer of your website. Sometimes we'll use a different method by using widgets, but a lot of times this is where that information is going to be housed. Here's the brokerage logo and brokerage information that you can fill out. And once again, that output is going to come down here into the footer. It looks like we have opted out of that setting, but generally you would find your contact information there being pulled from your theme options. Okay, so you also have the ability to connect your social media. For example, he has his Facebook connected, but you can also connect your Twitter, YouTube, Vimeo, Google+, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, and Yelp. Here under Tracking Info is where you can connect your Google Analytics by simply entering your Google Analytic ID. You'll always want to make sure to save these changes. Okay, under plugins, if you ever see a circle, an orange circle, with a number in it, that means that you need some plugin updates. Feel free to shoot us an email or give us a call and we'll get those taken care of for you. Users is where you can control the profiles that have access to the back end of your website. So anybody with dashboard access, you can control their profile here. People have certain permissions. For example, if you wanted to have full permissions, you'll always want to choose administrator. And to add a new person to your roster of people who are able to get into the dashboard, you'll go to users and add new. And you'll come down to add new user. So you'll sign them up using their email, and you can either ask them to confirm via email, but I generally won't do that because it's just an extra step. And once again, you'll always want to make sure that the role is selected correctly, because with some of these, you don't have full permissions. You'll want to choose administrator if you want them to have full permission to edit the website. Okay, and finally, the last thing I'd like to go over today is your HJI users. This is where you're going to see all of the activity for your website. The first thing that will happen when you click HJI users is you're going to go into manage users. This is where anybody who has registered is going to appear. You'll be able to see when they've registered and when they were last active, and then all of their activity as well, such as saved searches, favorites, or any search parameters they use. You can view this kind of information by clicking into their profile. So it looks like this person has 4 different favorites. They're no longer on the market, but if they were, you would have the ability to reach out to that person and discuss these properties, or perhaps other properties that fit the same criteria. You also can go into searches, and people can save their searches, but you have the ability to save a search for them. You'll go into add new search, and then you can edit the filters. So let's say that somebody only wanted to view listings that were under 300,000. We'll go into the price parameter here, and here's a guide for your numeric ranges. So because we want under 300,000, we'll do 300,000 minus. And then for the display settings, it's always best to display 12 listings per page in a grid of 3. It just looks a lot nicer, and for loading purposes, it works really well. And then always check off pagination, because if there's more than 12 listings, they won't be able to see that information unless you check this box. We'll go ahead and hit insert. And then you can give the search a name. So if I wanted to name it under, okay. And then anytime that there's been an additional property added to the search parameters or within the search parameters, they're going to receive an email alert if you check off this box here. Otherwise, you can just uncheck that, and they'll have the ability to look at this save search whenever they log into their profile on your website. Under user actions, you're able to see all of the activity on your website, whether that be through a registered users or an anonymous user. For example, we have anonymous here, but you can tell the difference between these users using the IP address. So for example, this one is different than this one. So you know that there have been 2 different users at least using this. Now you're also able to see their search parameters. For this one, it looks like they were looking for anything over 750,000 in Missouri City, and they wanted to look for residential. So that gives you an idea of your market trends as well. Even if somebody hasn't registered, you can see what everybody's been looking at. Now, if somebody were to look at a particular listing, you're also going to see the listing ID populate here, and you can just click in and see what exact listing your user was viewing. Okay, so I think we've gone over quite a bit. That was a general dashboard walkthrough. Feel free to give us a call if you have any questions or you'd like assistance. We can be reached at 858-777-9533 at extension 4. We can also be reached via email at help@homejunction.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day.